A very warm welcome to all our listeners around the world. You're welcome to the Tony Fernandez show, the show that promotes the true life stories and success stories of people making a big difference around the world. So remember, if there's a product or initiative you wish to share, feel free to give us a call on 0788 280 9005. That number once again is 0788 280 9005. Or take a few seconds to visit our website at www.tonyfernandez.co.uk. It's all about promoting the true life and success stories of people making a big difference around the world. And guess what, guys? We had an amazing Black History Month with some amazing guests doing great work around the world. Watch this space also for the premiere of our Black History Month recording, special recording, which will be out before the end of the year. And welcome to the month of November. We have some amazing guests in the studio today. Based here in West Yorkshire, it's a pleasure to have in the house Dr. Sohail Ahmed and Mr. Kashif, also, who are part of a wonderful organization. You're welcome to the Tony Fernandez show. How are you doing today, sirs?
Doing well, thank you for having us.
Okay. And Dr. Sohail, you're also welcome to the show.
Yes,
Before we
thank you
talk
very
about
much.
the launch of the City Beacon brand and portal, which is coming out today, I'd like to just briefly, starting with you, Dr. Ahmed, tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and the things you're most passionate about in life.
Yeah, my name is Sohail Ahmed. I am a medical doctor by profession, and my passion is, in essence, community, anything to do with community, anything that involves helping others, helping the society, helping community. So, yeah, on the back of that, I do most of my work with Bradford for Better organization in Bradford, which is a community action group. And also today we're going to be talking about another project that we've launched, the City Beacon podcast. Again, this is more like an interview format, but again, it's the whole idea is to shine a light on the work that goes on in Bradford.
Fantastic.
Community work, any type of sort of, inspirational work that goes on by the people of Bradford in Bradford.
That's beautiful. And Mr. Cash, also, I'm sure our listeners are also dying to know a bit about yourself, your background, and the things in life you're most passionate about.
Yeah, so by trade, I'm essentially a software developer, and just a bit of a tech head. And outside of work, just like Sohail, community is an important part of what I do. So, like Sohail, I work with Bradford for Better, and then I also do some other stuff of my own on the side where I just get to play around with technology and build software. And then hobby-wise, I like to do martial arts, so that's my thing, and play VR games. But yeah, City Beacon was something that started as a small idea that's now developed into a podcast, which is going to be cool. So, like Sohail said, it's sharing local stories with global impact from Bradford all the way to the world. Whether we're talking to people in the arts, in theatre, in the community, but they're all stories and excellent stories from Bradford, and we're looking forward to sharing it with the world.
The hope is that the City Beacon brand is going to bring big smiles to the faces of people in Bradford and West Yorkshire and also in different parts of the world. And it's been an amazing journey to collaborate with your organization so far. What does the City Beacon brand represent to the people of Bradford, would you say, any of you?
Well, at this moment in time, as we have seen in recent weeks and months, there is so much going on in Bradford. I mean, there is so much vibrant energy, so much diversity, so much going on on the back of the City of Culture bid that the city is part of. But besides that, in terms of grassroots community work, in terms of the diversity, in terms of the various organizations in the voluntary sector that are working and developing their work in Bradford. And we just felt as a team that, with so much going on, sometimes there isn't the exposure and there isn't that sort of, the dots are not connected sometimes. There's so many different things in different areas going on, but those individuals are getting on with it very quietly. Sometimes they don't get the exposure, the platform that they need. And sometimes the networks are not there that should be there. So 2 or 3 people may be doing the same sort of work independently and privately, but not know of one another, as you might find in Bradford. Whether that's artists, whether that's voluntary sector, charity sector, community sector, there's people doing so much work. So we felt that to kind of connect the dots and highlight and shine basically a light on these individuals and the work that goes on, maybe we need a kind of a central hub of activity. And I think the City Beacon is a good platform for us to do that, we hope, as a podcast where we interview and explore those individuals working behind the scenes, doing some of these brilliant work that goes on in Bradford. And it may be work that is Bradford centric, but actually has an impact much wider and beyond Bradford. So one of the sort of key messages is local stories with a global impact. Much like yourself, you are based in Bradford at the moment. We've spoken to you recently, but the work that you do and the networks that you have, it touches globally everywhere, the message that you spread. And that's the key theme that we want to work on, is kind of sort of get those people recognized and get their work recognized.
That's fantastic, and I'm sure you will agree with me that it's so important for us to promote the true life and success stories of people making an impact within our local community. Um, in terms of like community cohesion within the Bradford area, would you say the journey of community cohesion is healthy, or would you say there's more work to be done?
I think there's clearly more work to be done. I mean, there's been lots of initiatives and activities happening, but there's clearly more work to be done. Like Sohail said, there's so many people doing things in little silos, isolated, not aware of each other. And I think it's just we need maybe a platform like City Beacon or yours, to kind of join those stories up, and bring them out to the world and share them, and then that kind of inspires other people. So he's doing something, maybe similar to what I'm interested in. Maybe I should connect with him, and then you essentially building a large network of people who are all collaboratively. They're not maybe directly or indirectly, just working together on bringing the community together. And yeah, there is a lot more work to be done. You're never going to be fully complete when it comes to community cohesion. There's always a small pocket that we'll probably be missing out on, and that we need to look into as well. So yeah, I think there's definitely more work to be done.
In recent weeks, Bradford, as you both know, has been shortlisted for the culture bid for 2025. How important is this initiative with the podcast in terms of that culture bid?
Yeah, it's I think it goes back to the point of highlighting what goes on. And part of this bid, in essence, sometimes it's not what you do, it's how well you present what you do. And a lot of times, like we say, so many things are happening, but the dots are not being connected. And as good as the bid is at the moment, it can only get better by highlighting the gems, the hidden gems within the city of Bradford, and the activities that go on in the grassroots. So our role, again, beyond City Beacon, more to do with Bradford for Better, is engaging the grassroots, engaging those individuals who sometimes may feel left out or just do not realize that there's a carnival going on in the city. Like last night, we had the Bradford is Lit event that was organized by Bradford Council, City of Culture bid, and Bradford bid, and various other sort of brilliant organizations. And now, if that event happens in Bradford town and the outskirts and the other areas of Bradford and the sort of minority areas don't even know about it, then it's a wasted opportunity. So our role is to engage those people, engage the grassroots, and actually make them a part of this journey rather than spectators in this journey of this City of Culture bid. And all credit to the bid, the team, particularly Richard and Sue, were leading the bid. And they have gone out of their way to engage communities all across the district and not keep it kind of something that's just for those people in the know and within the art sector. They are opening up, and we have plans that we're working on in the coming year to have events in the community to engage people that sometimes may feel left out or may not be involved in the sort of cultural and art activities normally. So that's a key feature of the work that we're doing. And City Beacon is important because, again, we are highlighting those activities, those people that are doing these sort of activities and work. And it's not just about the art sector, it's about any other activity that is commendable, that is inspiring, and is motivating other people to do better.
And we commend the great work you're doing in the city of Bradford. Your organization was also very instrumental as a media partner at my recent Black History Month initiative last month. I'm just going to drift away slightly a bit, Dr. Ahmed, because you've been a nice brother in the last 1 month. You've also initiated a free training campaign in Bradford. Can you tell our listeners around the world, or in Bradford specifically as well, a bit about that free training you're providing at the moment and what the feedback has been like so far as well, especially for BAME communities?
Yes. So this is to do with Bradford for Better, that work we do. And some of the core objectives in Bradford for Better include a healthier Bradford, cleaner Bradford, greener Bradford, and Bradford for all. And my sort of focus and my passion is the healthier element within that, to make Bradford healthier and the people of Bradford healthier. And that involves education, that involves understanding and changing behaviors of people to make their lives healthier. And that's health and well-being. Now, one of my own personal passions has always been basic life support training, which I've done for a number of years for various national and international organizations. And the message there has always been for me is that basic life support, as the name suggests, is quite a basic training in resuscitating somebody who has what we call a cardiac event. So somebody who collapses, somebody who might have a heart attack or is found collapsed. What do you do in those circumstances? What does an individual do in that emergency setting? Now, surprisingly, the answer for most people is they don't know. And I personally feel, and the team, that I've worked with for years feel that is just not acceptable. It's such a basic training, and every single person really should have this basic training. It should be taught in schools. It should be taught in, institutions, environments, in the working sector, and everybody should have the basic knowledge of how to deal with an emergency scenario when it comes to life support. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And as we found in recent weeks and months, it's not even being taught in schools. It's not taught anywhere. And whenever it is taught, it's for a need basis. So, for example, you might be in a profession somewhere where you have to know basic life support for the job that you do. For example, we have in our surgery reception staff, receptionists, admin staff. They have to know the training because they're working in a healthcare environment. And usually they have to pay for it. And it can range from anything from £50 per person and beyond into the hundreds. And the team feels that this is really not acceptable as a situation that we find ourselves in. For people to be paying for an activity such as this, that should be a core knowledge for them. And especially in schools when it's not being taught, it should be free taught to kids in school, because if kids learn it at an early age, it's a life skill. They will remember it for the rest of their life. And it's one of those skills that literally can save a life. If you know what you're doing, at some point, potentially you could save a life. And it has happened many times in the training that we have done over the years, that a scenario has come about where somebody's collapsed, or a child has found their parent collapsed, or grandparent collapsed, and they have reacted automatically, remembering something at least from the training, and have managed to save a life. So what is more beautiful than that, and what is more worthy as a cause than to teach? And it's so simple, it's free, and it's absolutely, vital life skill that I think everybody should have. So that the mission and the project basically is that we, as B4B, have launched this project, launched it about a month ago. And the goal is to teach as many people as possible in the city of Bradford basic life support for free in their own communities, in their own environments, whether that's, work-related environments, churches, temples, mosques, schools, community centers, you name it. We are an open to any invitation from any organization, and we will come out with our team and teach this training and certify those people that attend in this training. So that's what it is. Yeah.
And I commend you on that amazing initiative. If for the benefit of our listeners in Bradford, although we have many listeners around the world, if they want to know more about that free training and initiative, how did they reach you?
Yeah, so it's our website you can go on, which is www.bradfordforbetter.com. And we have a section there for lifesavers. So it's Bradford Lifesavers. You can search us on Bradford Lifesavers. You can email us on lifesavers@bradfordforbetter.com as well. But yeah, all our details are on the website. That's probably the best place to go. Social media, you can tag in Bradford for Better, B4B. We're quite active on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you will see some of the information there. And feel free to email us, and we're open to any invitation from any organization. Just to touch upon what you mentioned in the question itself about BAME background and organizations. This is definitely more relevant to people of a BAME background, simply because the numbers that tell the story. And the story is that heart-related conditions, cardiac events, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, all these conditions are much more prevalent in ethnic minority BAME background individuals. And whether that's, lifestyle, diet, genetics, many different factors come into play to create those numbers. But those facts are there, that these conditions, heart-related strokes, are much more prevalent in ethnic minorities. And unfortunately, if you were to take the numbers of the training and those that are trained, the lowest numbers are actually disproportionately in the ethnic minority and BAME background. So there is a huge imbalance in terms of the knowledge and in terms of the skills and in terms of the health inequalities. So it makes it even more vital that it's BAME and ethnic minorities that have this training and take up this training, because we are, as communities, at higher risk, and our elders are at a higher risk. So we really need to be prepared and have the knowledge that we need to be able to deal with this situation.
On a very final note, I'm so excited about the launch of the City Beacon Portal podcast today. To both of you, I commend your great work, and also for your team members. But with the launch of this podcast, what can we expect? What can Bradford expect, first of all? And secondly, what social media handles are out there if people want to log on to podcast and get involved in its brand and its vision and awareness?
Sure. So initially, we're starting with a podcast. There is the plan to do other forms of content, so maybe some blogs, some news articles, but that's further down the line. We wanted to start with the podcast because we wanted to focus on individuals and their stories, providing global impact. So that's what we're going to start with first. And we're going to have, I think it's an episode, one episode a month. So we're starting with season 1 now. We've got some content already filmed and then some planned as well. And if you do want to check us out, so it's at City Beacon UK on Twitter and on Instagram. And then you can find us on Facebook on our Facebook page, and we also have a Facebook group as well for people for discussion. And then there's the website as well, which is www.thecitybeaconuk.com.
Fantastic. On a very final note, to both of you, what's your message to all our listeners around the world today?
Can I just with the City Beacon some final words? So just to give a shout out, there is a huge team behind this initiative, and I'd like to say that this entire initiative is not a business at all. The individuals involved, we have worked completely voluntarily, much like B4B. We're all volunteers. It's not a business. It's not an organization that is profit making. So all the individuals involved, and there are a number of exceptional individuals. Kashif here is involved. We have Rizwan ul-Haq, who is a very well-known international artist, author based in Bradford. We have Pishtad Modaresi, who is a filmmaker in Bradford, but international again, masterful, a wizard behind the camera, who does a lot of work for Bradford and the Bradford City of Culture bid. He's involved. We have Haris Ijaz, also a young filmmaker in Bradford. We have Shoaib Ahmed, who does a lot of our social media work behind the scenes. And we have many other sort of editors, filmmakers behind the scenes working with Pishy's team and also the B4B team. We have Abida, Yasser, and various other individuals involved. So it's a big team, and all of us are doing this in our spare time because we believe in it, because we feel that there are people out there that need to be heard and seen. And just my final point is thank you, Tony, for highlighting this. And a sneak peek to your viewers out there is that Tony has also been very gracious in allowing us to interview him for the City Beacon. So that episode is in the pipeline, and it will be an amazing episode, no doubt. He has shared many stories with us for that episode, and that will be coming soon. So we're looking forward to that. And thank you for supporting us.
And I thank you for the great work you're doing in this community, and I'm proud of you a lot from the bottom of my heart. And it just goes to show that it takes very little for us to make a big impact in society, even if we might have the mainstream people out there. So I commend you both. I'm very excited about the launch. Keep up the great work, keep shining, and I love you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's the City Beacon team at the launch of the City Beacon podcast coming out today. Watch this space and keep up the great work and have a lovely weekend. See you soon next week.